Have you ever heard of the term whorist? It's a combination of the words whore and tourist. Whorist refers to those individuals or groups of individuals who travel to certain destinations, not just to bask in the beauty of the culture or soak up the local charm, but also to indulge in some, well, let's say, extracurricular activities. If you're a single lady looking for a date and you're watching this video, be wary of some tourists you just met at the beach or at the bar last night. Chances are, that guy is a whorist. If you're thinking of having a serious relationship with this type, it is, more often than not, impossible and will only lead to breakups and heartbreaks. If you're a married woman, be wary of your husband's frequent business travel to different destinations. Chances are, he is a whorist club member. And if you're a man watching this video, you might want to ask, how can I join and become one of the whorists? So buckle up as we explore the rise of this breed of travelers that has been under our noses for decades. We're about to venture into the realm of whorists and their dark implications for the tourism industry. In the past, there were already merchants who traded goods and commodities. From the Silk Road and the merchant ships that sail around the world. Some of these merchants are frequent patrons of local brothels, where booze and girls are always available. The modern-day equivalent of pubs and bars, their exploits and adventures were passed down through word of mouth from generation to generation. And some are written in history books, making them the stuff of legends and adventures. Not much has changed in the modern world. In fact, it has become more prevalent with the advent of the internet and social media. Modern transportation, such as airplanes, makes travel even easier and more accessible. Pub houses and bars sprung up like mushrooms in almost all cities around the world. This time it's not only those rich middle-aged businessmen but also politicians, celebrities, internet entrepreneurs who strike gold-making business online, old retirees, and pensioners that are called sexpats. Not to mention the spoiled kids of the rich who ostensibly display their family's wealth on social media, showing the world how they travel, party, and enjoy girls. The meetings of these same-minded people, especially during their travels, have produced a community of whorists online. Whorist websites made it easier for them to share their travel stories and sex adventures to fellow whorists. Now let us talk about the pros and cons. Sexual exploitation is an unfortunate reality that exists within the tourism industry, painting a dark and disturbing picture. Every year, an estimated 250,000 people travel internationally to engage in sex tourism, generating over $20 billion in revenue. Whorists travel in various regions around the world, including Southeast Asia, East Asia, Central America, South America, North America, and Europe. Whorists can be anyone, regardless of gender. Women account for a small proportion, but the majority are men who travel to procure sex. They take advantage of weak legal systems and the anonymity that comes with travel to satisfy their desires. Here are the pros. 1. Believe it or not, they contribute to the development of the tourism sector. The tourism industry represented 7.6% of the global GDP in 2022 alone. That year, the total contribution of travel and tourism to the global GDP amounted to $7.7 trillion US. Roads, bridges, airports, seaports, pubs, brothels, bars, you name it. All built to invite more tourists. 2. Jobs and employment. Women involved in prostitution do earn a considerable living. It is said that prostitution is the oldest profession in the world, dating back to 2400 BC during ancient Babylon. Modern prostitution revenue can be estimated at around $186 billion per year worldwide. Not to mention bars, pubs, and brothels hire managers, supervisors, waiters, janitors, security bouncers, and many other job positions, making it a multi-billion-dollar industry. 3. It spurs business and economic activity. Local businesses also benefit from the influx of tourists, such as transportation, food stalls, restaurants, hotels, the handicraft industry, sidewalk vendors, and many others. 4. Government tax. Travel taxes are collected from tourists. And we all know that taxes are the primary source of revenue for most governments. Among other things, this money is spent to improve and maintain public infrastructure, including the roads we travel on, and fund public services such as schools, emergency services, and welfare programs. Here are the cons. 1. Human trafficking. There are 27.6 million human trafficking victims worldwide at any given time. Human traffickers prey on people of all ages, backgrounds, and nationalities, exploiting them for their own profit. Most women and young children ended up in prostitution dens and brothels around the world. 2. Drugs and other bad vices. Party drugs such as ecstasy are more common among nightgoers. Methamphetamine hydrochloride, or locally named shabu, is also widely used by both prostitutes and patrons alike, while cocaines are reserved for the big shots. Most prostitutes, who lack sleep, use drugs to sustain their nightly activities. While customers use it to elevate the level of their satisfaction, when you add alcoholism and chain smoking, it overall becomes a deadly cocktail that is detrimental to health and well-being. 3. Crimes. Where there are drugs, there is crime. People who become addicted and later cannot support their vices anymore will resort to robbery and other heinous crimes. Drug lords, drug traffickers, and law enforcement agencies will have a constant war with each other that will result in deaths on both sides. 4. Promotes corruption and bribery. Crooked government officials and police officers are sometimes the protectors of such activities. This in turn increases inequality, decreases popular accountability and political responsiveness, and thus produces rising frustration and hardship among citizens. 5. Sexually transmitted diseases. Globally, there will be 39 million people living with HIV by 2022 alone. Remember that there is no cure yet for HIV. Antiretroviral therapy drugs, if taken daily, can help people with HIV live with the disease and have meaningful lives. Some STDs, like syphilis, crabs, gonorrhea, trichomoniasis, and chlamydia, are curable, while others are not. But if left untreated, it may still pose a serious health risk. 6. It destroys families and relationships. If found out, cheating and infidelity may result in separation or divorce, but also negatively affect the partner's overall emotional well-being, leading to enhanced depressive symptoms and lowered self-esteem. 7. Exploiting the poor. Money is crucial in poverty-stricken areas. Women and children, mostly from poor backgrounds, are mostly the victims. Some have resorted to prostitution because jobs are scarce and they need money to put food on the table, while the majority are forced into situations that are not to their liking. Conclusion. Well, let's be honest here, money talks. It's a highly lucrative industry that rakes in billions of dollars every year. And as much as we hate to admit it, there's a demand for it. Whorists from all walks of life are willing to engage in this morally reprehensible behavior. And guess what? It's not just about the pleasure-seeking attitude towards casual sex with fellow travelers or locals. No, it goes even further than that. Whorists specifically arrange tours to gain access to full-time commercial sex workers in destination countries, while others have a sick desire to engage in exploitative and illegal sexual contact with children. It's really a sad reality. And it's not going away soon. The prostitution industry that supports whorist activities is big, and it was already there even before we were born. What we can do right now is share this video to spread awareness to everybody. Let's protect and empower our women and children. Education is the key. If you love this kind of content, please subscribe and follow for more.